Welcome back to another edition of CloudBlue Reels. My name is Michael LeComte, and I'll be your host again today. With me, I have three colleagues from CloudBlue. First off, I have Uddhav Gupta, president of CloudBlue.
Good to be here.
Thank you for coming. Secondly, I have Mike Jennett, who is head of platform strategy.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here, Mike. And Jess Warrington is our head of North American sales.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you all for being here. So today's topic is all about CloudBlue for ISVs. Let's start with the most simple, basic question. Uddhav, what is CloudBlue for ISVs?
Michael, we are experiencing a tectonic shift in how ISVs are starting to do business. All the year, ISVs would choose a particular channel to go through, and they're kind of focused on that channel. Now ISVs are going through multiple channels to the market. For example, they want to go through hyperscalers, AWS, Azure, GCP hyperscalers. They want to go through multiple distributors. They want to go through multiple resellers. They want to do direct. And they want to manage all of this from a central place. And that's what CloudBlue for ISVs is.
I love it. That makes complete sense. Mike, anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you said it perfectly. And it's really about giving ISVs the opportunity to have more routes to market, to be able to use the CloudBlue platform to be a single pane of glass and to consolidate all of their subscriptions, all of their distribution in one place, be able to set up the product once and have it go to multiple outlets.
And Jess, what are you seeing in the ISV market with ISVs looking to go to market?
Look, I think with what we were saying, there's a expansive number of routes to market now. And with those new routes to market become a massive opportunity, but those opportunities also come with costs. If you're not looking at your long-term strategy, you have the potential to get underwater on how you're building sequentially.
My question to you is, a lot of these ISVs are coming to market and, they need to find new ways to be relevant. How does CloudBlue help them with that?
Well, it's a great question. It builds on what we were just talking about. So as they're looking to these different routes to market, they need a place where they can consolidate and set up everything once and have it be able to go to different areas. So what we do with CloudBlue, especially when you look at like the hyperscalers, we allow our customers to set up their product and then set up for all of the different hyperscalers, give their public offers, their private offers, and have them go out to AWS, have them go out to Azure, have them go out to GCP. And then they have the ability to see it all and manage it all through the CloudBlue platform rather than having to set up with each of these individually and manage each of these individually.
Yeah, so hyperscalers are really that next level of how to get to market. It seems to be a really hot, way to open up those new doors. Just how is CloudBlue doing that also maybe with our own catalog?
Look, I think there's a couple of aspects to it. One, when we work with ISVs that are in our catalog, we give them the ability to integrate once and sell through many different routes to market. When we're talking about the hyperscaler marketplaces or other marketplaces, there's an inherent partner base, there's an inherent customer base that they can capitalize on. So I think that's a primary for us. And secondary is helping them with their go-to-market strategy, right? Because you don't just list in a marketplace and hope the customers come. You need to build out a strategy to capitalize on this opportunity. So with CloudBlue, you get an all-in-one solution for that.
Perfect. It makes complete sense. Uddhav, kind of tapping more into that, there's also that word we've heard a lot, buzzword, ecosystem marketplace. Tell me a little more about how ISVs are tapping into ecosystem marketplaces.
Now, the word ecosystem is very broad, right? So let's talk about that for a second. For an ISV, the ecosystem is around two folds. On one side, you've got your channel distribution partners as your ecosystem.
Right.
And the second one is all your technology partners that you kind of do business with. Now, what kind of a business does an ISV do with their technology partners? They're building extensions, they're building integration, they're building industry solutions, they're building add-ons.
Right.
An ISV, take anybody, the success of Salesforce came from the fact that they had an app exchange. And they built this huge ecosystem around Salesforce, whether you wanted a financial solution or you wanted a healthcare solution, you could basically go get an extension and integration from the marketplace. That concept has now become very prevalent in the technology world. So look at any major database vendors, they have their own ecosystem. You look at the cloud providers, they have their ecosystems. You look at SaaS vendors, they have their own ecosystems, right? So this concept of an app store, this concept of an app exchange, this concept of an app marketplace is becoming very, very prevalent. And that is also something that CloudBlue actually supports.
Mike, anything you want to add to that?
There's not a lot to add. That's a beautiful description, but no, and it just really is the ability for ISVs to expand beyond just their own product and be able to integrate with all these other products and become part of a full tech stack. And CloudBlue really enables that and builds that for them.
Perfect.
Look, we're talking about taking advantage of the network effect, right? Where ISVs don't have to acquire their own customers on a one-to-one basis, right? It's one-to-many or many-to-many. That's the ecosystem opportunity. And just build them smartly in a way that allows you to take advantage of that scale without having to, burden yourself with, this one-to-one build and investment is the key for ISVs.
And look, the scale of this is very visible with what the hyperscalers are doing.
Right.
If you actually think about the hyperscaler marketplace, it's one big ecosystem marketplace of solutions, integrations, applications that are being built on the infrastructure as a service offering from the hyperscaler.
Yep.
Right. So we know this is something that scales. This is something that's going to be required by every technology ISV, whether it's a SaaS player, whether it's an infrastructure player, whether it's a specific solution. They all are going to basically get into the app store kind of an environment, and CloudBlue is already there to help them with all the required functionalities they need.
I think you bring up a great point there, Uddhav. It's all these different types of vendors, all these different types of technologies. It's not just in the ISV space, specifically, but that's a big part of it. But also, as you're looking at distribution, as you're looking at telcos, at MSPs, they all are kind of converging into that area, and we really have the solution that helps them with that.
Yeah. So, for example, Tap.io is a marketplace that's created purely on top of CloudBlue for distributing software related to the wood and carpentry industry.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought there's a marketplace for that, right?
Perfect. Now, a lot of this, as you mentioned, is kind of the SaaS solutions, right? What about like tech vendors? How are they also then tapping into this, and what are they doing with CloudBlue for their, marketplace?
Yeah, there's a couple of advantages working with CloudBlue if you're a tech vendor that maybe not necessarily born in the cloud, right? There's one, these tech vendors that we're working with are looking at monetizing their own ecosystem in a digital fashion, right? Converting, how they would previously sell through a sales rep-led motion into a digital motion. And CloudBlue enables you to do that in a way where you don't have to build it yourself. And then second is taking advantage of these new channels and these new routes to market, right? With a single platform like CloudBlue, you're able to not only produce and build and operate your own marketplace, but access these new routes to market that are fragmented in a way that, makes sense for your business to capitalize on the market opportunity. So those are the two, primary use cases we see.
Anyone specifically that we've been working with that's kind of taking advantage of that?
Oh, we've got a long list of names that you'd recognize. That we've been working with Dell for a long period of time. We've been working with Lenovo for the last 4 or 5 years or so, Intel most recently, all looking at, these different routes to market and being bi-directional in how you sell, right? It's not a serial sales motion. It's selling through an entire ecosystem in all directions, right? Reducing the friction in those routes to market.
That's awesome.
Are they doing this in a kind of their own solution? Are they building bundles? How are they going beyond just one motion?
I think both, right? We see a lot of both. One is monetizing your own IP and monetizing your own IP in a different way, right? Moving from point sales to subscriptions. The other way to do it is to attach, a SaaS-based solution application that's adjacent to your core offers, right? And package that in a way that drives value to your end customer. All this is around delivering business solutions, solving business problems for your customers, not selling, a one-off product, right? So when we look at the marketplace environment, there's these built-in customers that just want solutions to their business problems. They don't want to shop necessarily an individual product. So that's where CloudBlue comes in to be able to package up these solutions in a way that it drives value for their customers.
Yeah, Jess, I think you hit on a really great point there. CloudBlue it is that ecosystem of different products that they can bundle with their solutions to expand on what their offering is, going beyond just that single point of sale, that single item sale, and being able to have all the auxiliary products, the adjacent products that they can bundle in with that.
Yeah. I know some of our customers, too, have also added their own IP and then offered that IP to other MSPs or within our ecosystem as well.
Right.
So cross-pollinating, selling your own stuff, grabbing somebody else's stuff, creating those bundles. It's pretty impressive of what CloudBlue for ISVs can really do.
And I think Jess pointed it right. It's a network effect that CloudBlue actually creates. But what's more important to understand, Mike, is why is CloudBlue able to do this, right? For years, we've been having technology to go ahead and serve the channel. We've understood what it takes to basically take a product across multiple channels, across multiple marketplaces. How does margin management work? How does pricing work? How does fulfillment work? How does delivery work? And now we're taking all that knowledge, combining it with the new technology that we built to basically help ISVs go through multiple routes to market and blending those two things together. And that's what makes CloudBlue very powerful. It is not something that can be built overnight. It requires years and years of development and thought, process, and industry best practices to build this. And that is what CloudBlue brings to the table for an ISV.
Yeah. So there's a lot of challenges along the way to get to that point too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and what Uddhav was just talking about, I mean, we just heard from a customer recently that was talking about how important being able to take all that complexity and all that knowledge that we've had from years of developing, subscription, margin management, billing management, working with some of the largest vendors out there that have very complex systems.
Sure.
That are hard to manage and hard to understand, are constantly changing. And the fact that we have that expertise and we have that ability to really manage all that for them is a huge offering for our customers. And as we expand more and more into the ISVs and tech vendors, they're really starting to see that benefit coming to them of being able to use a buy versus a build, because building that internally and maintaining it is an incredibly difficult thing.
Yeah. I mean, you want to focus on your own business. You don't want to have multiple businesses to support your business. Let someone like CloudBlue offer that solution for you, then allow you to focus on what you need to do to sell your solutions.
And, from a complexity standpoint, when you go to address this problem, it's like an iceberg problem. What you see, the complexity is only the tip of the iceberg.
Of course.
The real complexity is behind it. And we at CloudBlue have really solved for that complexity. So I think that's why we are very excited about CloudBlue. Mike, Jess, I think you guys are super excited about CloudBlue too.
Absolutely.
So, Jeff, how should an ISV, start looking down this route? How should they get started?
I think based on what we just talked about, right, around the complexity of this business for ISVs and the iceberg analogy that Uddhav laid out, I think about it as an ISV is moving from selling in 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions, right? The market is moving in all directions, and that's where the complexity comes in. Also, the market is moving faster than any individual company can, right? So if they're trying to build something, very likely the market's moved by the time they get there. So that's why we're working with a company like CloudBlue that has solved this for the world's leading ISVs already, and we're staying ahead of the market because that's our core business. That's where we come in. So help us help you plan for the future, I think, is the best way to take advantage of the scalable opportunity as an ISV.
That's a perfect Jerry Maguire quote.
And for a company who doesn't go down that route, what would happen? I mean, what challenges would they have to come across?
Yeah, we see this very often, right? Because we work with ISVs of all sizes, from startups or early seed stage to Fortune 500. What generally happens is you start building sequentially to the route to market that you want to be in initially, whether it's a hyperscale marketplace, one of them, or some other digital channel. You start generating revenue that way as an ISV. Eventually, the business works, and then you want to grow that business, so you start building something else, right, to take advantage of the broader market. And then you have revenue that's being generated with imperfect processes, but you've gone down the path too far so that you don't want to unwind your business to then build for a scalable framework. So you're at this inflection point where you either need to put people on it or new systems or other as investments to continue to grow your opportunity. So you're spending more to make incrementally less. So I think about the scalable future first is the way to take advantage of it.
And I tell you as well, right, for ISVs, they need market differentiation. And a big part of the market differentiation is, are you at that place where the transaction is happening? And if you're not, there's somebody else that's going to basically eat your keys. So you need to be there, and CloudBlue can help you get there.
I think one of the beautiful things about the ISVs also is that, a lot of these ISVs, they think about selling their product, and they're trying to get their product to market. And when we talked about the network effect earlier, we have a catalog of so many complementary products that they can add on to their product. They can create these bundles that allows them to really expand their market beyond what it traditionally is if they're just going with a direct sale.
Absolutely.
Makes sense. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate your time today. I learned a lot from you about CloudBlue for ISVs. I look forward to having you on a future CloudBlue Reels. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.